You have a set of abilities that sound like comic book powers. You can see by starlight. You can sense the exact position of your body with your eyes closed. Under the right circumstances, you could lift a weight that should be impossible, or navigate a room in total darkness using nothing but sound. You have almost certainly never used most of them on purpose. They are sitting inside you right now, switched on, waiting. This is not motivation or metaphor. These are real, documented human capacities, abilities the body already has and mostly keeps in the basement because modern life never asks for them. Let's take them out and look at them, one by one. Start with the one that sounds most impossible, seeing with sound. Some blind people can navigate the world by making sharp clicks with their tongue and listening to the echoes bounce back, reading the size, distance, and even texture of objects around them. It is real echolocation, the same trick a bat uses. The best-known practitioner, Daniel Kish, rides bikes and hikes trails this way. And the researcher Thaler has shown in the lab that this is a learnable skill, not a rare gift. Sighted people blindfolded can be trained to detect objects by echo in a matter of weeks, and expert echolocators process the clicks in the visual part of their brain. You have the ears and the brain for it. You have simply never had to learn because you have eyes that made it unnecessary. Now one you can trigger in a sink of cold water. Dip your face into cold water and your body does something remarkable and automatic. Your heart rate drops, blood pulls back from your limbs toward your core, and your whole system shifts into a low oxygen conservation mode. It is called the mammalian dive reflex, a survival trick we share with seals and dolphins, left over from our aquatic adjacent past. Free divers use it to hold their breath for minutes and descend to depths that should be impossible. You are born with it. Every time you splash cold water on your face and feel a strange calm, you are firing a diving instinct that a seal would recognize. Here is one you hope you never need: impossible strength. There are documented accounts of ordinary people in moments of extreme crisis, lifting cars off trapped children or tearing doors off wreckage, feats they could never repeat and can barely believe afterwards. It is sometimes called hysterical strength, and while it is hard to study for obvious reasons, the mechanism is understood. Under a massive surge of adrenaline and fear, the brain briefly lifts the safety limiter it normally keeps on your muscles. Your body is always holding back, protecting your tendons and bones from your own full power. In a true emergency, it can let go of some of that restraint. The strength was always there. You are just, for good reason, never allowed to use all of it. Now one you already use every day without calling it a power: muscle memory. Learn to ride a bike, type, or play a chord, and after enough repetition, the skill sinks below thought. You can do it without attending to it, even years later, even after not doing it for a decade. This is procedural memory, stored not as facts, but as motor patterns burned into the brain and body. It is why you never forget how to ride a bike, and why a pianist's fingers know a piece the conscious mind has half forgotten. You are carrying a library of movements that runs without you. Every skill you have ever truly learned is a small superpower you no longer notice. Here is one that breaks your idea of what seeing even is: blindsight. Some people who are truly blind because of damage to the visual part of the brain can still, astonishingly, respond to things they cannot consciously see, reaching accurately toward an object or navigating around obstacles in a corridor, while insisting they see nothing at all. The neuroscientist Weiskrantz named this blindsight, and it reveals that your brain has more than one visual system, an older, unconscious one that guides action without ever producing the experience of sight. In you, that silent system runs underneath your ordinary vision all day. It is part of why your hand is already moving to catch the falling glass before you consciously see it fall. Now one that hides in plain sight. Some people never forget a face. There is a small group called super recognizers who can identify someone they glimpsed once, years ago, in a crowd, in different lighting, at a different age. Researchers including Josh Davis have tested and recruited them, and some now work spotting suspects from grainy footage that defeats everyone else. The striking thing is that face recognition is a power all of us have to an almost magical degree. You can pick one familiar face out of thousands in an instant, a feat no computer matched for decades, and super recognizers just have the dial turned all the way up. You are already running the software. In them, it simply never misses. Here is one you can unlock tonight by turning off the lights: night vision. Sit in true darkness and wait. For the first minutes you are nearly blind, but over 30 to 40 minutes, a pigment called rhodopsin rebuilds in the rod cells of your eyes, and your sensitivity to light increases enormously. By the end, you can navigate by starlight alone, seeing shapes that were pure black when you began. Sailors and astronomers have used this for centuries. Most people never experience it because we flood our nights with light and never sit long enough in the dark to let the power switch on. Give your eyes 40 patient minutes and you gain a kind of vision you forgot you had. Now one that runs beneath every movement, the sixth sense you use constantly. Close your eyes and touch your nose. You found it instantly, in the dark, without looking. How? A sense you were never taught to name. Proprioception, the body's constant silent map of exactly where all its parts are in space. Tiny sensors in every muscle and joint report your position thousands of times a second, and your brain stitches it into a seamless sense of where I am that you only notice when it fails. It is arguably your most used sense and the one you're least aware of having. You are, right now, a body that always knows precisely where it is, a quiet miracle of coordination you have never once thanked it for. Here is one at the absolute limit of physics. You can see a single particle of light. In a perfectly dark room, the rod cells in your eyes are so sensitive that they can respond to a single photon, the smallest possible unit of light that exists. Careful experiments have shown that a fully dark adapted human can detect just a handful of photons, brushing right up against the theoretical limit of what any detector could ever do. There is no meaningful way to build an eye that sees better than nearly one photon at a time. You are carrying in your own head a light sensor tuned as finely as the laws of the universe allow. You never notice because you almost never sit in a room dark enough to ask it. Now one that has been badly underrated your whole life. Your sense of smell. For a century, people repeated that humans are poor smellers with feeble noses. The neuroscientist John McGann showed that this was essentially a myth. Human beings can distinguish an enormous range of odors, by some estimates, an almost uncountable number, and in certain tests can even follow a scent trail across a field like a tracking dog. Your nose is not the weak sense you were told it was. It is a high-resolution chemical detector you simply pay little attention to in a culture that fills the air with the same few manufactured smells. And the strangest edge of that same power, you can smell emotion. When a person is frightened, their sweat changes, and it carries chemical signals, chemosignals, that other people's noses can pick up without any awareness of doing so. In studies, people exposed to the sweat of frightened volunteers become subtly more alert and wary themselves, their own threat systems nudged awake by a smell they never consciously noticed. You are, quietly, reading the fear and calm of the people around you through the air itself. It is an ancient herd warning system, still running under your conscious nose, telling you when the room is afraid before anyone has said a word. And to close, the one that appears when you push past the wall, the second wind. Run until you feel you cannot go on, and if you keep going, something can shift. The burning eases, the breath steadies, and suddenly you are moving again as if refreshed. That is your body switching more fully from one energy system to another, opening up its aerobic engine, catching up to the demand you placed on it. The wall was not the end of your capacity. It was the gap before the next gear engaged. And there is a quieter power turned inward, the ability to feel your own body from the inside. Some people asked to count their own heartbeats without touching their pulse can do it with surprising accuracy, sensing the beat purely from within. This is called interoception, your perception of your body's internal state, and researchers have linked how well people can read these inner signals to how well they read their own emotions and hunches. That gut feeling you get about a person or a decision is not mystical. It is your brain reading a flood of quiet reports from the heart, the gut, and the breath, and handing you the summary as a feeling. Some people have that channel wide open. The signal is broadcasting in all of us, whether or not we have learned to listen. So look at the ordinary body you are sitting in. It can read a room by echo, dive like a seal, lift beyond its own limits, see by starlight, and find its own nose in the dark. The powers are all installed, all real, all yours, kept quiet not because you lack them, but because a soft, bright, easy world almost never asks. Turn off the lights, hold your breath, sit in the dark long enough, and you can still meet the animal you have always secretly been.